Shree Mataji Bhaiya, you may start now.
Jai Shri Mataji to everyone. Didi, am I audible properly?
Yes, Bhaiya, you are audible properly.
Thank you. A warm welcome to one and all in today's session. Sahaj Yoga meditation that we are conducting online through this YouTube channel and Zoom is primarily catered towards people who are very new to Sahaj Yoga and trying to understand what it is exactly. We have 3 daily sessions, one in the morning at 8 o'clock, one in the afternoon at 4:15, and one in the evening at 7:45 p.m. All sessions are essentially talking about giving you a little bit of an introduction about what Sahaj Yoga is and what are its benefits, how it's different, and then we go for a self-realization session. We have these sessions in Hindi most of the time. Only on Saturday morning, we have one session in Marathi. And on Sunday morning, this one, we have one session in English for people who requested sessions in other languages. Apart from this, we have one more session at 5:30 p.m. in the evening every day, which is for deep meditation. That is for people who have now understood the basics of Sahaja Yoga, can understand the vibrations that on their hands in meditation, and want to go deeper. So thus, we have these 4 sessions running on the same Zoom and YouTube channels. Today, what we'll do is briefly talk about what is Sahaja Yoga and what to expect, what is self-realization, how is it different, all these basic questions that you may have in your mind. And then we will talk a little bit about our subtle system, because that is important to understand when we go into meditation. After that, we'll go for the most important part of it, self-realization experience. Post that, if you have any questions or you have anything to share, you can join our Zoom link, speak to us, or you can leave same on the YouTube chats. So now let's start without further ado. Sahaj Yoga was started by Shree Mataji Nirmala Devi, whose photograph you can see right behind me. Shree Mataji Nirmala Devi started Sahaj Yoga in 1970. And now it is spread all across the world. People of all countries, religions, types, whatever categories we find them from, are practicing Sahaj Yoga and benefiting from it. Sahaj means something that is very simple and spontaneous. That is how it is, really. Sahaj is also, it means Saha and Ja, that means with and born. So it's something that is so simple, spontaneous, it's born with us. Yoga. Yoga means union, union of the Atma inside us with the Paramatma. The word yoga literally means union, and that is what we should be very careful about when we talk about yoga, because these days it's become very confusing, and we think maybe doing asana is yoga or doing some other kriya is yoga. These were all defined way back when Patanjal talked about it, and there were Ashtang yogas. That means 8 parts to it, and it had yam, niyam, pranayam, pratyahar, so many things. Asana was one small bit of it to keep us in the right shape and form so that we can sit for our tapasya and meditation and all of that. But yoga literally means our union with the divine. That is what we should expect from self-realization. The next question to that is, how do we ascertain that we have really been connected? So we'll come to that because it's about the vibrations, our Kundalini awakening. We'll talk about it when we talk about the subtle system. But just to very briefly understand what happens is that It's like when we talk about Sahaj yoga. So it's something so spontaneous that it happens on its own. And it's like breathing. So when breathing exercise, we do breathing, it happens spontaneously. That is how spontaneous this happening is inside of us. Now, what do we understand by self-realization and the union with the divine? What happens when we get our self-realization is something that we can talk about. Self-realization is, it has been talked about for ages in our country. And we know, we've heard of so many saints sitting in the hills and dales of Himalayas and various places and practicing some form of tapasya to get to God. This is what they've been trying to do. This is what they have been trying to achieve. And we have had that one guru, one shishya kind of a tradition going on in our country, where one saint, when he would get it, when he would get his self-realization, he would choose one disciple and he would give it realization to that one disciple. Apart from that, there have been many saints who have sung songs or written hymns like Kabir and Gyaneshwara and so many people who have at some point of time talked a little bit about Kundalini. But it's been very difficult for them to explain to people. For example, when Gyaneshwara wrote about Kundalini awakening in his Gyaneshwari Gita, it was in the sixth chapter that he talked very clearly about it. The the Dharma Martandas of those that era, they said that this chapter is Nishiddha. That means it cannot be read because people did not understand. People did not understand what they were talking about, and thus so many saints and incarnations were crucified, or they were poisoned, or they were tortured, and people just didn't listen to them. That is how this knowledge, this great heritage of our country has been very, very secret. It has been kept secret, and it has been limited to one or two people who have been living in hills and dales. And then when anybody comes in Kashaya Vastra or wearing Bhagava Vastra, we think that they are the epitome, they have achieved it. Because they are so far and few, the real ones. Now that becomes a challenge for anybody because we think that they are higher folks, so they will give it to us. Shree Mataji says that unless and until this becomes an arm thing, something that the general population can achieve, it has no value because it's part of our evolutionary process. We have come up to this human stage and we have developed so many things. We have understanding of art. We have developed so many scientific things with which we can do impossible looking things. All of this has come to us through a revolution, slowly and gradually. It's the next step of our evolution. This next step has to happen in our consciousness. It will not be outwardly, but more our in our consciousness, which gets developed further, which hits that last breakthrough, which has yet to be broken. One may ask, why is there any need for anything? We are all okay, right? So what is the need for any further step in evolution? We have achieved so much. But it's a very simple answer to that question is that we can see the people around us, the world around us. It's in great confusion. These are times of Ghor Kali, and we hear horrible, terrible things happening around us. That always drives us to think about that whether this is the final that God had thought of us. This is what he had thought of making us into. Is this really his plan? And if we do believe in a God, we must know that he has planned something for us. In fact, he has planned everything out very beautifully inside of us. We just have to get that one last breakthrough in our consciousness, and then we can get connected with him. That is the yoga, that is the union that we were talking about. And unless and until all of us get it, we will not understand what these great saints and incarnations have talked about. But as soon as we get it, the power of God that we say that is all around us, that is everywhere, that has created us, starts flowing through us. Now, this is what is to be understood, that such a power is there, and when it starts flowing, we feel it on our central nervous system. So it is not something very superficial that I can tell you that you've got your self-realization now. You are a certified realized. So it doesn't work that way. You become your own judge, your own master, and you decide whether you've got it or not. Because once it starts flowing, you feel it on your hands and your palms in meditation. It has been very beautifully described by Adi Guru Shankaracharya. Adi Guru Shankaracharya talked about this in his book called Saundarya Lahari. So the name of the book is Saundarya means beautiful, Lahari means vibrations. He says that when mother's grace dawns upon you, you feel the Chaitanya, the vibrations, Salilam Salilam, little cool breeze he has talked about. In Bible, it is said that when Holy Ghost will come, you'll feel cool breeze. In Quran, it said that when Qiyamah's time will come, your hands will speak and will give witness against you. That is what happens to you. For the first time, these vibrations starts flowing and we feel them on our palms as cool breeze. Also, for the first time, we feel our internal chakras, what is right with us, what is wrong with us. And then we can use these vibrations to cure ourselves, to make ourselves better, make ourselves a more homogeneous, integrated personality. We can use these vibrations even to solve some of our worldly problems, which could be very mundane looking, but they are troubling us a lot. Could be family related, money related. All these things also get sorted slowly and gradually. We can use these vibrations even to cure others. We can give them self-realization, because it is only an enlightened candle that can enlighten another candle. So once you are enlightened, you can give realization to others and make their lives better as well. So to talk about the benefits of Sahaja Yoga is really to talk about the benefits of getting united with the all-pervading power. But the first and foremost thing is to experience it and to know it, that it is happening really inside of us. And when it happens, it is quite undeniable. And you can feel the vibrations and you can experiment with so many things in life that ascertain that, yes, this is the divine that we have been connected with. It's a wonderful and beautiful experience. And it's quite unbelievable for many of us. But the fact is that we are quite wonderful and beautiful, created by God, not to be bothered and confused like we are today, but to get into his realm, to get connected to him and enjoy his boons and blessings. There's a very old Quran that we have called Nal Damayanti Akhyan. It talks about Raja Nal, his story, and Kali, whose time we are living in now. He worked towards separating him, Raja Nal, with his wife. So the king Nal, he got hold of Kali and said that I'll destroy you because you're just evil. Your time will come and people will suffer so much. So he said, you better do that, but first listen to what is my importance? And he said, what could be your importance? So Kali said that when my time will come, the time of great confusion, Ghor Kali, then the people who are searching God in hills and dales today will be born as household people, normal people, and then they will get their self-realization. Listening to this, King Nal left him alone, and he said, then it's a very important thing that you have to do. We are living in these times of great confusion. And in these great times, we are searching for God. Today, so many people are searching for spirituality. This was never there in the history of humanity. Of course, because of that, so many wrong people have also come up on this earth and are taking advantage of that. But the fact is that there are so many people searching and they are going to get it. These are blossom times, Shree Mataji says. Earlier, there were one or two flowers on this tree of life. Now it's the time for the whole tree to bloom. So let us assume that this is so, and we are truly made in such a way that we will get it. There's a lot to talk about in Sahaj Yoga, and there's so many lectures of Shree Mataji that explains so much very beautifully. We can all access that freely and learn more. But for now, what we'll do is quickly talk about our internal subtle system. It's important to briefly understand this before we go into meditation. When we were in our mother's womb, the energy, whatever name we call it by, entered inside us through our fontanelle bone area and created all these chakras and nadis inside of us. This is the place that was soft when we were very small, very young infants. We see that this place does lup tup, because this is where this energy enters from. And then our brain, being a prism shaped entity, it refracts. We have learned in physics that light refracts from a prism and it gets divided into three parts. The energy coming from the right goes to the left, the one coming from the left goes to the right. The one in the center, it creates these seven flower like things that we see here, which are called as chakras. You can call them as energy centers. In the gross, they are represented as plexuses or just the crossing points of various nerves, thousands of nerves there. These chakras and these nadis essentially define who we are. The imbalances there or the imperfections in these chakras make us who we are. Some people have some chakras very strong, some have some weak, and that is how we are so different. The energy that is left after all of this creation comes down and settles into at the very end of our spine is a bone called the sacrum bone. It's a very beautiful name given by the Greeks. They knew something special about this bone for sure. That is why they called it sacrum. That means sacred. This energy comes and settles down. When it settles, it forms coils. Coils in Sanskrit means kundal. 3.5 coils it forms. That is why it is called as kundalini, because this is the mother power. This is the mother power of God, or let's say the power of God, that is our individual mother. She is our individual mother and stays with us in all our lives. She knows everything about us. Her sole goal and aim is to give us our second birth, which is our self-realization. As we grow up, we form a calcification here, and this connection that we had as kids with the God, with the all-pervading power, is broken off. We say that children are really form of God, at least in Hindu religion, we say that because they are connected, they are so pure. But as soon as they start learning the worldly things of I-ness and all of that, there's a calcification that happens and this connection is broken. Awakening of this kundalini and establishing this connection is self-realization, is the yoga. Now, briefly, we'll talk about the three main channels inside of us. On the left-hand side, in blue that we see here, is the channel called as Ida Nadi. This Ida Nadi is taking care of our sympathetic nervous system on the left-hand side and is also responsible for all our emotions. So all our emotions come from this channel. All our desires also come from this channel. All our past is stored here. People who think too much of the past work too much on this channel. People who are too emotional and have too many desires work too much on this channel. This being the moon channel, it gets very cold when overutilized. And we develop various diseases. Many of them could be psychosomatic or incurable diseases. In Sahaj Yoga, we understand that any sort of extremes or imbalances cause problems and troubles inside of us. And we understand them and try to correct ourselves so that we are all okay. We feel our left channel in meditation on our left palm. Similarly, on the right-hand side, we see in yellow the channel that is called as Pingla Nadi. The Pingla Nadi is taking care of our right sympathetic nervous system. So It is also called as the sun channel. All our activity, all our physical or mental activity, all of these are taken care of by our right channel, the Pingla Nadi in yellow. People who are working too much or very futuristic, because the Pingla Nadi is also a channel for future. People who are too futuristic work too much on this and it gets heated up and we develop several problems. Also, people who are very aggressive and very active or working too much in offices end up working too much on this channel and we develop several diseases again. We feel this channel on our right palm in meditation. In the center is what is called as the Sushumna Nadi. This Sushumna Nadi is taking care of our parasympathetic nervous system. This is the channel of our present. So the left was past, right was future, the center is present. This is the channel of our complete balance. We have heard of so many things in religion and especially in Buddhism, it's been talked about of being in the center. The, the reason is that this is the path, the center path that leads us to our evolution, to our self-realization. People who are leading a very balanced life easily get their Kundalini awakened. Now, we will quickly touch upon the various chakras. So as we said, that these chakras are the crossing points of our nerves inside of us, let's say on the physical side. But on the subtle side, these chakras are adorned by various deities. And these deities, they are essentially taking care of these chakras and the organs around them. And they have various qualities and they have various, let's say, um, boons that they give on these chakras. When we go against their qualities, we develop problems on these chakras because uh, they they are not happy about how we function in our life, let's say. So those chakras then get out of order and we develop various problems. So it's on various levels that we have to understand in Sahaja Yoga. We'll not touch upon all of these aspects, but let's say it could be physical aspects, it could be mental aspects, or emotional aspects, or spiritual aspects. So we exist on all of these planes, and when we go in imbalances on these chakras get into trouble. For example, the first chakra that we have is called as Mooladhara chakra. It is placed right at the end of our spine, and we can see it takes care of the organs around, is all excretory organs and sex organs, etc. When we go against the qualities of these chakras, which are innocence, let's say, so we go against innocence in terms of, let's say, sex, etc., then this chakra gets out of order. People who are very cunning, etc., are can also be catching on this chakra. As we said, the bones of this chakra are innocence. So we develop childlike innocence. We become very pure like children when this chakra is awakened. And we do not try to always take advantage of others or fool others. We also develop pure wisdom when this chakra is awakened. So we have pure Vivek Buddhi. We know what to do, when to do, etc. In children, especially when this is awakened, they lead a very good life. They know exactly what decisions to make, what will be beneficial for them. We feel these chakras on our palms because our palms are the endpoints of our nervous system. There are various other places in our body, but this is the easiest to feel these chakras in meditation. So, for example, the Mooladhara chakra we feel at this point, which is just above our wrist on both the hands. So there are three parts to each chakra, left, right, and center. After this comes the Swadhisthana chakra, which is shown in yellow here. The powers, let's say, or the qualities of this chakra are creativity. All creative work that we do is done from this chakra. All sorts of art forms that come from this chakra. All the pure knowledge of divine also come from this chakra. So let's say we go into any impure forms of knowledge, that is tantrikas, etc. This chakra can be caught on the left hand side. On the right hand side, it's very interesting. This chakra is caught up when we do overactivity, because the right channel starts from this chakra. See, so people who are working too much in offices and thinking a lot are actually using this chakra quite a lot, because the gray cells in our brain that we use for thinking is in fact supplied from by this chakra by converting our fat cells into gray cells. So when we think a lot, this chakra has to work a lot towards doing that job. And it's not able to take care of our liver, spleen, pancreas, etc., which it is responsible for. So you'll find that people who are very, very stressed are the ones who will get liver troubles. People who are thinking a lot, planning a lot about the future, etc., are probably the ones that get diabetes, etc. So everything is quite interrelated, and we understand them in Saj Yoga and try to put them in order. For example, when this chakra is awakened post realization, we can put these things into order, and our physical problems can also be cured. Also, in many people, a lot of creative art forms develop inside yoga after realization. We can feel this chakra on both our thumbs. After this comes the Nabhi chakra, the navel chakra, also called as Manipur chakra. This is the chakra of our evolution. All our evolution has happened because evolution happens when we seek. As fishes, maybe we were seeking that, let's figure out what's on the land. Then we became reptiles, and we said let's go higher. Then we became higher animals. Then we started seeking food, shelter, etc. As human beings, we maybe are seeking money or power, or love or family, and this that. Slowly and gradually, that seeking moves towards God, towards the highest, because we realize none of this gives us the pure joy. When that happens, we get our realization. So the very great boon of this chakra is our seeking. When this is awakened, we get all sorts of benefits in life of, let's say, monetary or family, and all of that that we think is so mundane and very gross is all taken care of. We become very generous people and give to others and invite them to our homes, and such qualities come from this chakra. We have a nice, balanced family life, and we are very satisfied, both monetarily and family wise and everything else. So, satisfaction is another great boon of this chakra. We feel this Nabi chakra on both our middle fingers, left and right side. Around this is what we call as the Bhavsagar, the void. This is the place of dharma inside of us, created by great gurus, incarnations across the world, who have given the definition of dharma, what it is really. And it's not Hindu, Muslim, etc. This is the innate dharma. This is what tells us what is right, what is wrong. That is very well established in this space. When we go against dharma, this chakra is caught up. When we take to wrong gurus, this chakra is caught up. It's very evident when we see something very bad happening, we end up puking, because this dharma tells us that this is not okay. Also, we end up puking when we take alcohol, etc. This void we can feel here, right around the center of the palms. We feel these. Some people feel it moving like this as well in meditation. After this comes the Anhat chakra, which is right behind our sternum bone. This is the place of our security. Until we know that there is God Almighty taking care of us, we may feel insecure, or we may not be confident enough. So our confidence, security, etc., all of this emanate from this central heart chakra. If that security is shaken by anything, let's say wives who may have some insecurities from their husbands may develop breast cancer. Kids who are afraid a lot are the ones who you would see are falling sick a lot. But when Kundalini awakens, this confidence and this security, sense of security is reestablished. On the right hand side is the place of the father principle. So, for example, let's say small kids who have lost their fathers may be the ones who may develop asthma. This is also, let's say, the idealisms of father, son, brother, husband, etc. All of that is placed here. Similarly, the idealisms of being a mother, etc., are placed on the left hand side. On the left hand side is also the place of spirit. What is spirit? Spirit is the Atma, which is the reflection inside of us of the Almighty, the God, whatever name him we call him by. And we all of us have this reflection inside of us, the Atma that is watching all the time. Still not in our consciousness, but it is there. Upon Kundalini awakening, this Atma comes into our attention and it becomes the driver. We feel the Anhat chakra on both our small fingers, left and right side. After this comes the Vishuddhi chakra, which is right behind our throat. This chakra we can see is responsible for all our communication. So the outer part, our face, our tongue, teeth, nose, outer part of eyes, ears, and our shoulders, hands, etc. Everything is governed. So our communication happens through this chakra. Our communication leads us to being collective beings. When we are truly collective, not like we are right now, when we are saying that we are collective but fighting each other all the time, this understanding comes when we are realized and we know that we are part of that macrocosm, that big whole. We are the microcosm of that big macrocosm. We truly know that because we are connected with him. Once that happens, we develop great qualities of looking at this world in a sakshi. As a sakshi, that means we can look at it as a witness because we truly know that he's the one who's taking care of everything. The chakra is caught up on the left hand side when we feel guilty a lot. Oh, I have done this bad, I have done that bad, I'm good for nothing, etc., etc. When we keep saying such things, we're actually going against the thought of us being part of that macrocosm, right? So this is caught up on the left hand side. On the right hand side, it's caught up when we say these things to others a lot. Oh, you have done this bad, that bad, aggress other with their words, shout a lot, are bombastic, or use bad words a lot, or use tobacco. This chakra being caught up is very, very, very bad for Sahaj Yoga, especially because what happens is that our nerves start from this chakra of our hands. 16,000 nerves cross on this chakra. Some of them come to our hands, and that is how we feel the vibrations and our chakras in meditation. If the chakra is caught up here, then we don't feel these vibrations. So we have to say that we forgive ourselves and we are not guilty at all. So we have to say in meditation that I am not guilty at all, so that this chakra is not caught up. This chakra we can feel on both our index fingers. After this comes the Agya chakra. It is placed inside our optic thalamus. Here is a very, very small path for Kundalini to pass through because all three nerves we can see they're crossing over. This chakra opens up when we forgive others. Until we forgive, this is not opened up. You can see that there are two balloon-like things created right above this chakra, which are called as ego and superego. All our actions in our life leads to some ego being developed inside of us. All our learnings and conditionings, they lead to something that we call as Prati Ahankar or superego. Most of the time, one of the other is dominating this path for Kundalini to pass through. But as soon as we forgive here, Kundalini sucks in both these entities and the path opens up. So in a way, Kundalini eats our karmas themselves. We feel this chakra on our ring fingers on both the hands. After this, the last is the Sahasrara chakra, the 1,000 petal chakra. This, the quality here mentioned is integration because all the chakras end up getting integrated into this chakra. Also, we become integrated with the divine and become a complete integrated personality ourselves. This chakra is represented right at the center of our palms. Once it opens up, the all pervading power of divine starts flowing through us. And as you talked about the cool breeze, we start feeling it on both our palms at the center and at the top of our head. We feel it coming out of our head and touching our hand, which we'll feel just now in meditation. There's a lot to talk about in Sahaj Yoga, and as I mentioned, everything is freely available. But as an introductory part, this is good enough for the theory part of it. Now we'll go for the meditation and quickly first see what the steps are for us to get there. In Sahaj Yoga, we balance ourselves out and clear ourselves out using the five elements that have made us. Some of them we'll use in the next steps that we see. In this first step, we'll keep our left hand in our lap open and the right hand on the Mother Earth. We'll have some prayers when we meditate. First, we can just see these steps with our eyes open. The next step, we'll keep our right hand in our palm and left hand bent like this towards the sky. This will be for our right channel. The next step, we keep both our hands on the Mother Earth. Now, we keep our left hand in our lap, and the next steps we'll do with our right hand. So, the right hand on our heart. Then the right hand on our forehead. Like this, we'll press it from both the sides and bend our head forwards a little. The next step, we'll put the hand at the back of our head and push back our head towards the sky. The last step would be to stretch our fingers completely and use the center of our palm, put it on the top of our head and press it hard. While pressing it, we'll move it in a clockwise direction. These are all the steps that we have to do. Now, one can easily understand that just doing these steps, one cannot get their self-realization. There is something higher that has to happen. Shivaji Maharaj once asked his guru called Ramdas Swami about how long does it take for us to get our self-realization. He answered by saying that it happens that very second. There just has to be someone who can give it and someone who can take it. So we have to be the ones who take it. We have to become those people very humbly asking for it. Because Shree Mataji is here to give it to us. Our photograph is very, very special. That emanates those vibrations that make it possible inside of us. We're talking about our self-realization, something so great. And if she's the one to give it to us, we can easily understand what kind of respect and humility we need to keep to ask for it. You look at Shree Mataji's photograph very humbly, with just one thought inside, that we want our self-realization. We will slowly close our eyes and bring our attention inside. We'll keep all our thoughts, questions, doubts, all aside. Because if this is the highest and the greatest that has to happen, then we must not let our thoughts come in the way. We'll just see what is happening inside right now. Now, with our eyes closed, We'll keep them closed, keep our back a little bit straight, and we'll keep both our palms open in our lap, like we are asking for something. Now we'll do the steps that we had just seen. We'll keep the left hand as is in our lap and put the right hand on the Mother Earth. Here we have to pray, Mother, please give me, please bring my Ida Nadi into balance. Mother, please take out all the negativities and impurities of my left channel through the Mother Earth. Mother, please take out all the impurities and negativities of my Ida Nadi through the Mother Earth. We keep the left hand open in our palm and just see what is happening while we pray this. Mother, please clear out my Ida Nadi and bring it into balance. We'll bring the right hand into our lap and put the left hand bent from our elbow towards the sky. Here we have to pray, Mother, please clear out my Pingla Nadi. Mother, please take out all the impurities and negativities of my right channel through the ether element. We'll keep our attention on both our palms and see what is happening. Mother, please bring my Pingla Nadi into complete balance. Now we will bring both our hands on the Mother Earth. Just place them on the earth. Here we have to ask, Mother, please bring me into complete balance. Whatever impurities, imbalances are still left in my Ida and Pingla channels, please take them out through the Mother Earth. Mother, please bring me into complete balance, into the present. We will bring both our hands in our lap, keep the left hand as is now in our lap, open, and do the next steps with the right hand. We'll place the right hand on our heart and press it a bit so that we feel our heartbeat. Here we have to speak a great truth. Mother, I am the pure spirit. Mother, I am the pure spirit, which is in fact the truth and not this body, this mind, these thoughts, this ego, etc. We are actually just the spirit. That is the only eternal thing. So say it with full confidence. Mother, I am the pure spirit. Mother, I am the pure spirit. Now, as we are the pure spirit, we have committed no wrong. We have seen that if we feel guilty about anything, we do not feel the vibration. So, with full confidence again, we say, Mother, I am not guilty at all. Mother, I am not guilty at all. Mother, I am not guilty at all. We'll bring this hand on our forehead and place it across like we would when we would have a headache and press it from both the sides. We'll also bend our head forward a little. Here we have to say that, Mother, I forgive everyone. Without forgiving, we cannot pass through the Sahaja chakra. Actually, if we don't forgive, we don't do anything. We only play in the hands of people who have done some wrong to us. But when we forgive, God takes over. So we say, and we truly do this also without remembering any names. Mother, I forgive everyone. Mother, I forgive everyone. Now we bring this hand at the back of our head where we place the pillow and push back our head towards the sky. Here we say, for our own satisfaction, that, O God, if knowingly or unknowingly we have committed any wrong, please forgive us. O God, knowingly or unknowingly, if we have done any wrong against you, please forgive us. Now we bring this hand at the top of our head, in the fontanelle bone area, which was a soft bone when we were kids. We pull back our fingers and place the center of the palm on this fontanelle bone, which is the Sahasrara chakra, and we press it hard. While pressing, we move our hand in a clockwise direction so that our scalp moves along with it. While pressing, we move our hand in a clockwise direction so that the scalp moves along with it. Here, we have to ask for it. Without our asking, Shree Mataji cannot give us a self-realization. So with utmost humility and respect, we have to say, Oh Mother, please give me my self-realization. Mother, please give me my self-realization. Mother, please give me my Atma Sakshatkar. Mother, please give me my yoga, union with the divine. Mother, please give me Atma Sakshatkar. Mother, please give me my self-realization. Mother, please give me my self-realization. We'll stop moving the hand and bring it back into our lap. Keep both the hands open in our lap and our attention the top of the head where our hand was. We'll sit in quiet meditation for a few seconds like this. We will bring our attention to our palms, the very center of our palms, and see there is cool breeze coming out of one hand or both the hands. It may be warm or hot as well for now. Now we'll bring our attention to the tips of our fingers, the end of our fingers. Let's see if there is some tingling sensation on one or two fingers in one hand or both the hands. This is the status of our chakras and our nadis that we feel on our palms in meditation. Now we bring the right hand at the top of our head again, where we had pressed, and raise it a few inches just above our fontanelle bone area. We move it left, right, front, back. You can see that from a particular place, there is cool breeze coming out of our head and hitting our palm. It could be very subtle for now, so we'll see it very carefully. Move it a little and see. You see the same thing with our left hand now. We bring the left hand at the top of our head, raise it a few inches, and see if there is a cool or hot breeze coming out of our head and touching our hand. Now, as a last step, we'll put both our hands completely up towards the sky, elbows straight, and palms open towards the sky, and push back our head. We'll ask one of these three questions. Is this the power of God? Is this the Param Chaitanya? Is this the divine energy, cosmic energy? Whatever question you want, you can ask 3 times. And answer vibrations would improve on your hands. You bring them back onto our lap slowly. And once again, sit for meditation. We will slowly open our eyes and look at Shree Mataji's photograph. You will find that there are no thoughts right now. This is the first boon we achieve post realization, that we are in thoughtless awareness. Bring our both hands together in Namaskar to Shree Mataji and the Kundalini inside for this wonderful experience. Jai Shree Mataji. To those of us who have joined very recently for the first, second time, we wish to tell you that it would really be wasteful if we don't sustain this and establish this. It takes some time to really establish and grow this experience and this understanding of this new awareness. So you must give it some days and some time and practice this regularly. Once you do that, you will know for yourself what you have achieved here. How to do that, how to know more, how to practice Sahaja. All of that you can learn by joining us. Didi will help us with how to do that now. Jai Shree Mataji.
Shree Mataji, everyone. Those who have recently joined this session, we are requesting to please subscribe the channel. In YouTube live chat box, you will find 4 links from our end. First link is our WhatsApp group link. Who have not joined WhatsApp group yet, please join that. From that, you will get all the notifications and all the related information about Sahaja Yoga and these sessions. Second link is Zoom meeting. You can ask your question or you can share your experience via joining that Zoom meeting link. Third and fourth link is our channel link. On YouTube, we have 2 channels. First is for online meditation and second is for Shree Mataji speeches. Both the channels are completely non-commercialized, non-monetized. Advertisement option have been stopped on both the channels. This channel have been started for the purpose that you can get your self-realization at your own place, in your comfort zone. So we are asking to share the channel link with the true seekers who want to get their self-realization, who are searching for a God. On our channel, you will find short videos based on our each chakra and nadis. So please watch the videos and learn about each and every chakra and nadis. On the channel, on a daily basis, there are 3 self-realization programs running on. First is on 8 a.m. Second is on 4:15 p.m. and third is on 7:45 p.m. in the evening. You can join any of the session as per your time, as per your availability. And once you have been attending this session for 15 or 20 days and you are aware about all the nadi and chakras, then you can join our deep meditation program, which is held on 5:30 p.m. on a daily basis. There is no question, Bhaiya. We can close the program now.
Yes, Didi. Jai Shree Mataji.
Jai Shree Mataji.
Let's take mother's permission and move ahead. Yeah.
Thank you, Shree Mataji, and all the deities for today's wonderful session. And we are really sorry for all the mistakes. We are ending this session now. Thank you, Shree Mataji.
Jai Shri.